Hello and welcome to this week's Mirror Gaming Walkthrough, the podcast that goes through the weekly news from the gaming world. Today we've got a great show for you. We've got CES 2024. We've got our gaming hardware correspondent out in Vegas to give you the latest on the event. We'll also be talking FC 24 Team of the Year voting. We'll be discussing whether it's worth getting a PS5 or an Xbox in 2024. Yeah, I can't believe we're there now. We'll also be talking about who would win in a fight between Leon and Joel. But all that after the trailer. Are you prepared to go public with your KD online or
no?
Everyone thinks he or she is the best football expert on the planet.
You see it in the back page of the Mirror, deal agreed.
I think the most important thing is just to have fun. What?
310?
No, what button is it?
Well, hello.
We're ready to come for the W, yeah?
Ooh, 12.
Ooh, here we go.
If you can master second man press, you will defend 10 times better.
Today I'm going to be reviewing the PSVR 2 headset.
Hello and welcome back to the Mirror Gaming Walkthrough. Joining me this week, live from the Bellagio Presidential Suite in Vegas, we've got Jasmine Manan, who's out there at CES for us. Jasmine, thank you so much for joining us live from your hotel. How are you?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm good. It's 8 a.m. here for me at the minute, so I managed to come on before heading over to the Las Vegas Convention Center in a couple of hours, where I'll have a couple of more appointments, things to see. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the week. I've had a great week so far. I've seen some very cool stuff, which we'll be talking about shortly. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Nice. Aaron, thank you so much for coming on this week. Wishes you were at CES.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I didn't think I was that, obsessed with CES, but I keep on seeing like today, literally before live, I saw there's something that can play original Sega Mega Drive carts at CES. I thought that was where they were meant to promo toasters and stuff. But anyway, I'm happy to be here.
Just for the record, can I say, I've seen a lot of toasters and fridges and kettles.
Oh, not fridges.
Other
Matt
random.
out.
There's so many random smart products that I didn't know could be smart. Like, why do you need
those
smart water
the see-through toasters?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah. When you want to see that bread toasting. Oh yeah.
Your interest, Lewis, always astound me.
And on to Lewis. What's CES? Thanks so much for joining us, Lewis. You all right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. You're all right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, not too bad.
Thank you. Good. Thanks.
What's that in the background of Lewis's thing? I just want to say, by the way, in that blue sort of. Is that
That's
something
my
EA related?
Yeah, that's my very own personalised FC24 item. So.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
We'll be getting a
Fancy.
close-up look at that later in the show. Don't worry about that, people. Don't worry.
Yeah, and I've got my own there, which looks like me apparently. So
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
I said that to Nathan one time, like 6 months ago,
never
and he
letting that
hasn't
go.
stopped bringing it up.
I'm never ever letting that go. But let's go on to our first topic because I know you've only got a short while with us, Jasmine, today. You're at CES 2024 for us at Las Vegas. How is it? What are some of the cool stuff you've seen? Fill us in on your first few days there.
So I think for the first day, I spent a lot of time walking around, as you normally do at these conventions, like sort of getting my bearings, figuring out where I was and where I was meant to be going. And in that time, I was a bit like overwhelmed with all of the random tech stuff, because obviously it's not just for gaming, right? And this is what I was saying. I saw all of these random smart home products. They have like smart fire alarms, which is like, what's the difference between a smart home fire alarm and a normal fire alarm? Like, I don't really understand. But sorry, I can hear myself twice.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll mute Lewis. It's coming through.
Okay, sorry. But yeah, I think in terms of all the gaming products, I already knew that the first thing I'd want to see was the MSI Claw. So that was literally top of my list. I went over to the MSI booth, and unfortunately, I was a bit disappointed with the MSI Claw. You can go and see my full first impressions hands-on over on the YouTube channel right now. I couldn't test any games on it, unfortunately, but just based off the hardware alone, I was a bit like, right, MSI, what's going on here? This could be could be so much better. I think when you're entering the market this late, you have opportunity to sort of like see what your competitors have done right and what they've done wrong. And I think MSI haven't really taken those things into account, in my opinion. It kind of feels like they've just leaped in, thought, okay, the fact that it's got an Intel chip is going to separate us from the competition, because as we know, the competition all have AMD APUs. But I personally don't think that's going to be the case. I might be wrong. I really hope I am wrong, because I love the gaming handheld. I still am yet to find one that's clicked with me perfectly.
I think you have. It's called the Steam Deck OLED, isn't it?
I do love the Steam Deck OLED.
Handheld.
I think the Steam Deck OLED is pretty up there, but it's still quite big and bulky, right? It's not as small as the Asus ROG Ally, which is something that really drew me in with that. It's like, it feels a lot more compact. And that was the case with the MSI Claw. It's much smaller and it's easier to hold and it's way lighter. The Steam Deck, as great as the Steam Deck OLED is, it is mega. It's so big. So I kind of thought, okay, maybe the MSI Claw can be the nice in-between bit, but so far it's not been great. The UI especially disappointed me. It was really, really poor.
Yeah, because if you look at some of the gaming handhelds we've got, I think all of them that we've had before the MSI Claw have got like a sort of a niche that they're going for. So you look at like the Steam Deck, which is the cheaper one, because obviously Valve can afford to subsidize it through the style of Steam games.
Yeah.
You've got the Asus ROG Ally, which is, look at us, we're Windows. Like with the first Windows one, we're super powerful. You can play any games. Then you got the Legion Go with their control system, and it being a bigger screen. The MSI Claw seems to like be like a bit in the middle, a bit samey. Like I can't really understand where it's market, because it's priced the same as the Legion Go, which
and
is
the
more
Asus ROG
expensive.
Ally.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't really have any outstanding features from what I can see that the others don't have. Is that would I be right in saying that?
So in my written preview that I wrote after my hands-on, a line I actually put in was, if you were looking for the Asus ROG Ally in black, it's here. That's exactly what it feels like. It doesn't feel any different. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, it's not brought anything new to the table, exactly as you said. So I'm not sure what MSI's sort of intentions are with this device. Like maybe the Intel chip will bring such an immense amount of power that it's like, oh yeah, this is the one to go for. But I don't see that being the case with all the issues that Intel Arc, because it runs off of Intel Arc graphic system. The Intel Arc, the reason why people are yet to adopt the Intel Arc, even though it's meant to be a budget-friendly graphics card line, is because it's just got issue upon issue upon issue. It's not powerful enough to compete with AMD and Nvidia yet, and I don't think it will be for a while. So I'm just a bit skeptical about what the performance of this device will be. And it's also quite late. I feel like everyone who wants a gaming handheld probably already has one, right? Like
what are you waiting for at this stage? Like you've got if you got
I think the majority of people have Steam Decks now, or they have the Asus ROG Ally. Who's picking up a handheld now that wants one and still hasn't got one? Like I don't think people are still waiting at the minute. I don't know.
It does
Maybe
have
I'm wrong.
RGB in the joysticks. Maybe that's what you were waiting for. I don't know.
Doesn't
The Asus ROG Ally have?
Okay.
Come on, Nathan. Come on.
Should I tell you what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for the Steam Deck, and I know Scott McRae's in the chat, but like I'm waiting for the Steam Deck, but not only Steam games. Do you know what I mean? I want the Steam Deck to play Xbox Game Pass, and then that's my dream. And until
but
companies
obviously
can
it runs
resolve...
off of Steam OS. I think the thing with the Steam Deck, but the reason why it's so successful is because it runs on Steam OS. So that's something I don't see changing.
Because
it runs so well.
As opposed to trying to do everything. This is what puts me off of PC gaming in general, is you have to update your drivers, you have to make sure that,
I don't know why you always say this, like you don't have to update your system with consoles too. I'm saying like
updates come, but it does it all for you. You don't have to go searching for it. Do you know what I mean? Like
you can set up a PC to do exactly the same thing. Just install, like, if you've got an NVIDIA GPU, install, like, NVIDIA GeForce Now, and it will automatically run drivers for you.
This is proving exactly my point. I work in the industry. I have a Steam Deck. I've used these devices. And the fact that I'm still not aware of what you just told me, Jasmine, how's, John Smith down the lane or, Gladys with a cat? Yeah, like how are they meant to figure it out? But I take the point.
Yeah, I mean, and also there's the point as well that there is no way that MSI, Asus, and Legion and Lenovo, sorry, can make something at the same price as what Valve can do because they can subsidize the Steam Deck with the
Yeah.
sale of
The Steam
Steam
Deck
games.
is Valve's only piece of hardware.
Yeah,
And they've done it so well and are subsidizing it so much that they can afford to sell it at what I'm assuming is probably a loss. I don't know if it's a significant
Yeah.
loss, but I'm assuming they're selling each unit at a loss. But it's getting so many people who wouldn't otherwise, people like Aaron who don't play on PC but then access PC games through a Steam Deck. He wouldn't otherwise be spending money on Steam.
Yeah.
And there are loads of people out there, definitely, who are exposed to Steam through the purchase of a Steam Deck. And they've just done it so well. And I don't think... My issue with the Steam Deck originally was like it had a poor battery life. It was really heavy. It just kind of felt like the quality of games on there weren't really up to par with something like the Asus ROG Ally. But with the release of the Steam Deck OLED, which I think is what the Steam Deck should have been originally, I think trying to enter the market now after the release of the Steam Deck OLED is such a silly idea.
Yeah,
Valve have done it perfectly.
Yeah, and I think it's sort of proved as well the fact that MSI, Lenovo, and Asus have all tried, and they've gone for that 699 mark. It shows that if you want to make a profit with these devices, like if you're just a normal manufacturer, you have to price it there because otherwise you're not going to make any money. So like the fact that all these companies are launching it at a higher price point, that gives like Valve such an advantage in the market because even with an OLED screen, it's coming out way cheaper, you know. But I was going to mention battery, 53 watt hours. That is the biggest in any handheld. Maybe that's the selling point because you've took the mick out of me before for playing Elden Ring on my Steam Deck, or not my Steam Deck, but Valve Steam Deck, completing Elden Ring on it. The battery life was poor. I normally played it with it just plugged in, you know, which isn't really the point. Maybe that's the selling point if they can optimize the software to make to play games at 1080p, 120 hertz. Maybe that's their selling point, you know. I don't know.
Well, my perspective on the battery life is just that if the hardware isn't optimized correctly, if the software is not very efficient, then it doesn't matter how big the battery is. It will just deplete so quickly anyway.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm yet to see what the performance on this device is. So who knows? Maybe it will be absolutely fantastic, and I'll be wrong. And I really, really am hoping I am, because after the Lenovo Legion Go and how much of a dud that's been, it's just like disappointing to see, you know, Lenovo Legion put a lot of work into that device and it just didn't pan out the way that they were hoping, and it is sad. And I think it will put other companies off of trying to innovate in that way in the future. And obviously that's the last thing that we want in gaming / tech spaces. We want to see companies, you know, innovating, trying to do something great. Otherwise, we're just going to end up all having to buy Steam Decks. There's not going to be any competition. And as great as the Steam Deck is, I just don't want that to be the case.
Can I just chime in with 2 points? One is at least the MSI Claw is better than the Logitech G Cloud by default. I think we can all agree on that.
I don't know why you'd even bring that up. Like,
yeah, I mean, Scott's brought it up in the chat as well. But second, I think this like only reinforces how smart Nintendo was in not chasing tip-top graphics with the original Switch hardware all those years ago. Because even now, it ages me by saying this, 7 years since the Nintendo Switch was released, you've got major tech companies encountering all these problems, whether it be battery, storage, heft, everything like that. Every time one of these comes out and Jasmine tells me she's disappointed in it, it makes me love this beauty even more. My Nintendo Switch, specifically with a Nitro Deck case, people, which is
nice. Let me just address some of the comments before we go any further. We've got JD in the chat. Welcome back, JD. Hope you had a good New Year. We got Scott as well. Alex, are there many handheld gaming PCs at CES, or is it just the Claw, Jasmine?
The only one I've seen is the Claw. I know that there are a lot of other retro handhelds knocking about, but in terms of handheld gaming PCs, I think the Claw is the only one that's there. Obviously, the Asus ROG Ally is here too, and the Lenovo Legion Go is here too, but these aren't new.
Yeah,
it's just an opportunity to show it off a bit, isn't it?
We got Homer Pip in the chat as well. Thanks so much for watching. It says, can you play Call of Duty Warzone on that? It runs Windows, so yes, you can. Not sure how well it would play because Jasmine hasn't been able to test games on it, but yes, you can. You could also play that on the Legion Go and the Asus ROG Ally, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
We've got Homer Pip as well. How much for one? The kids will enjoy that. $6.99. Jasmine, is that right?
$699. We haven't got
Yes.
a confirmed UK price, but I reckon it'll be the same. £699.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's your confirmed price for you. JD, Odyssey equals better than Breath of the Wild plus Tears of the Kingdom. Is this in relation to Game Pass, I believe? Because Assassin's Creed Odyssey is on Game Pass, I believe, now. I don't know when we talked about that, but thanks,
Come to
JD.
Game Pass. Maybe he's building.
Oh, is it
off of
Valhalla? Sorry, I thought one.
Yeah.
They all blend into one.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Anyway.
I think that might be JD talking about like the Switch conversation. But
I see. Okay,
you can't play Odyssey on a Switch. That's true.
Oh, Super Mario Odyssey. Okay, my bad. Yeah,
okay,
sorry.
okay.
That Scott's corrected me. Cool. Miffy also says our fridge is plugged in. Jasmine, we were just talking about you, Miffy, actually, about fridges being at CES. Were they plugged in, Jasmine? Can you confirm?
They were plugged in. Yes, I can confirm. Cool. I hope that settles your nerves, Miffy.
Not with real plugs, though. These two-pronged outlets.
Oh, yeah. This is the first time I've ever been to the US. And US plugs, even as a tech person, confuse the absolute hell out of me. What is going on? There's no switch to turn the outlet on and off. It's just always plugged in and always turned on.
It's so unsafe. It's so unsafe.
Yeah, it's so scary. I like unplug everything whenever I leave my hotel room.
And they're not strong at all. There's no hold to it. There's no hold to that plug. If you touch the wire, they just slip out.
Yeah,
you know,
it's so scary.
We're always taught at school, like, I'll turn the plugs off at the wall, save energy.
Yeah.
Well, you need to be looking at these people across the pond, I'm telling you. Because Las Vegas is like a Christmas tree.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I would love to see the power draw of Las Vegas this week. Wow. That would be...
Well, when we were flying over to land in, you could literally see, because obviously it's in the middle of the desert, there's a complete rectangle of bright white light and then darkness all the way around it. It's so insane.
Wow. Anything else cool that you've seen at CES that you want to point out, or anything that you can talk about?
I had a look at the brand new dual mode monitor from Asus, which I've actually written up, so you can go and have a look at that at mirror.co.uk/gaming. That is a monitor that has two modes you can switch between, so 4K 240 hertz or Full HD 480 hertz. And I know some people aren't really going to give two tosses about a gaming monitor, like it's just not that important to a lot of people. But I know that Nathan will share in the enthusiasm about this.
Yes.
As someone who plays shooters and story games, when you're buying a gaming monitor, you normally have to pick one or the other. So the ability to have both with this monitor, insane. I watched a couple of demos. I played Alan Wake 2 on it, and it looked gorgeous. And looking at the demos makes me realize that frames really do win games. And I think this will probably be my new monitor once I get back to the UK. I'm going to literally go out and buy that straight away. But we don't have a confirmed price is the only downside. This could be like $5,000 for all we know.
Asus dual monitor brought to you by PG Tips. There. Everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, other tea bags are available. I mean, the Yorkshire tea is clear, but anyway. So yeah, this monitor can swap between 4K 240, which is impressive in itself, 4K 240, or 1080 480. With two different modes. So essentially, this is the first ever monitor where you basically don't have to compromise, right? You don't have to compromise between like getting the best visuals for like a story game, like you said in your hands-on, or like the most FPS possible for Counter-Strike. So like you don't have to have any compromise there. That's so cool, but it's gonna cost you a pretty penny, right? When it comes out.
Oh, definitely. And it's 32 inches, which I feel like already 32-inch monitors are quite pricey because people normally opt for like 27 or 24. So I am genuinely petrified for them to announce the price of this. But they've roped me in now. I tested it and I can't stop thinking about it. Like genuinely, my monitor at home is LCD as well. It's not even an OLED panel. So I already need to make the upgrade. Like, the people who aren't gaming on OLED, I promise you right now, like just make the upgrade. Just do it. OLED is so good.
I know, yeah, this is a bit off topic, but and I'm guilty for this as well. But I see so many people when they're like building their setup or getting a new PC or whatever, they always leave the monitor till last.
Yeah,
but if you think about
that's
it,
what I did too when I first built my PC.
Yeah, But the monitor, I've come to realize now, I've learned that I've probably made a mistake with my setup, because you should really think about the monitor first. That's what you're going to be looking at the whole time. So it's almost the most important part of the whole setup, right?
Yeah,
Getting
I
that
would
right.
say so.
Yeah.
I think that's I've done exactly the same thing as you, though. Like I never really thought about it until I sort of got more into my tech, and now I'm like, oh, why did I get like a crappy monitor? That's such a silly decision.
Yeah. So yeah, as we're saying, 32 inches. It's got anti-glare, and it's also 1300 nits as well. Peak brightness.
It's really bright.
That's bright. I mean, I think my monitor is like 400 nits or something, so it's like over nearly 1,000. It's got HDR10, and it's coming in the second half of 2024, according to this is Asus ROG's.
It's coming right now in Jasmine's suitcase on the way back to Britain.
Don't say that. I don't want them to know that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, why are you saying that live?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. God.
But anyway, I just want to say sorry. I have to shoot now, but thank you so much for having me. I'll leave you guys to it. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. I've got appointments to be at. But it's been nice to talk about all things CES with you guys.
Cool.
And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely morning.
See ya.
In Vegas. Enjoy
breakfast.
Yeah. See you later. Bye. Thanks so much for Jasmine for joining us. I know she's very busy at the moment. She's got loads of appointments. So thank you so much, Jasmine, for checking in. Got a few other comments. Homer says, cool, that's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad considering it's a mobile, it's a portable PC essentially, and you can plug it into a monitor and it can just act as a PC as well. So that's good. Got Miffy, no grounding pin, amateurs. Yeah, exactly. Miffy's throwing Toifu in the ring.
Do they still make tea? Like, are they still about? Toifu?
I know. Weren't Toifu the ones with the triangular bags?
It was that advert with the bear puppet thing, wasn't it?
No,
that was Toifu.
Yeah, I think it was. But weren't they the triangular ones?
Yeah, I think they were. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if they still do. Miffy, you'll have to let us know, please. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us. She's at CES for us covering the event. Just on your comment, Aaron, because that really sort of made me think. CES normally, obviously, stands for Consumer Electronics. With E3 not happening, is CES become bigger than ever for gaming stuff now? Because I'm looking at CES and there's so much gaming stuff coming out. Is that replaced E3? Do you think, as somewhere to show off gaming stuff? Is that why it's been so big this year?
I think CES will always be the sort of like landmark moment for hardware tech specifically. I struggle to think of a time, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, of like a new console ever being announced at like CES, because it wasn't it already this week that PlayStation had their conference, and I think the most significant thing they did on stage was drive a car using a DualSense controller.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Everybody thought they were getting the PS5 Pro revealed initially, but whenever that's been in the case in the past, like I know when the PS4 Pro was revealed, they just hosted their own event, which they invited like journalists to come to and stuff, and it was all very subdued. So it's an easy answer, but I think in terms of software, CES is never going to be the event. That's going to be, unfortunately, Jeff Keighley event number 17, aka Summer Games Fest. So but like I said, I'm surprised at the amount of stuff like of handheld gaming, like even just as a retro fan myself, like I reviewed the Atari 2600 Plus. There's a lot of portable Sega Mega Drive cartridge player. Like it's really nice to see this resurgence of physical media alongside the stories of people going digital, because I think I saw that HMV have just made a comeback, like biggest ever sales over the holiday of vinyl and physical media. So
nice. That's good to see. Miffy, that was PG Tips. There you go. They went triangle, then reverted. Toifu's still getting the pound shop. There you go. So that's.
But is it a pound? Because you go into a pound shop these days, it's not guaranteed to be a pound.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that, Aaron. Don't get me started on that. Let's move on to our next topic then, because we're approaching one of the biggest event in the FC24 Ultimate Team calendar. That is the Team of the Year event, where EA gives special Team of the Year items to some of the players that have performed the best in the last calendar year. It's important to mention that because we've also got a promo called Team of the Season that happens at the end of the season, and that runs just for the whole season. So they do differentiate. But Team of the Year comes like midway through the game's life cycle. So you get this massive meta change because there's these ultra powerful cards that are just the meta, and it just changes the game. You can vote for your players now on the EA website. You can vote for your team of the year there. So we thought we'd do something a bit interactive and choose our teams live on the show. I know me and Lewis have already done this ourselves personally, but we can do it again. There's no limit on how many times you can vote. So it's not really locked down. I'll let you decide whether that means the vote even matters or not. I'm not saying anything, but we all have our suspicions. Aaron, there's no Bristol City players, unfortunately, or Bristol Rovers players in these lineups, so you're gonna have to get creative.
Scandalous.
On this. Exactly.
Scandalous.
But I'm just gonna share my screen here and let us know in the chat as well if you agree or disagree with any of my votes. So what I'm gonna go with for my team of the year, I'm gonna go for Edison, Champions League winner, as my goalkeeper. I'm going to go for Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think he's had a great year. Ruben Diaz, John Stones, again, treble winners. I'm also going to go for left back Teo Hernandez because, frankly, there's no other left backs in there that are worth putting in. So that's why I've gone for them. In midfield, you're looking at Rodri. I think he's been the best midfielder in world football, probably, in the last 12 months. Apart from Stourbridge's very own Jude Bellingham, who has been, is the current best midfielder in the world.
I've heard of him.
Best midfielder. Yeah,
that's how you know he's good.
He's a Dudley boy. And I'm going to also pop in Bernardo Silva because I think
stick to your guns.
Kevin De Bruyne has been injured for a lot of the time, so I'm gonna go with the Portuguese because he's just so consistent. For my front three, I'm gonna go for Erling Haaland, treble winner. Like, you can't really argue that. And Mbappe, because he's scored a lot of goals. I think it was quite close between him and Kane in terms of like goal scoring, but I think Mbappe, because he's won Ligue 1 and he's won a few other things, Kane's won nothing. At the moment, anyway, even though he went to Bayern. And then I think this is the most difficult one, but I think I'm going to have to go with Lionel Messi. He's the Ballon d'Or winner. He hasn't had a great 2023. He won the World Cup in 2024, late 2022. So doesn't include that World Cup here, obviously, but he did win the Ballon d'Or, and I think, considering the other options available, he's probably going to get it. So I'm going to go with that anyway. Yeah. That is my vote for the team of the year. What do we agree? Do we disagree? What we saying? What we saying, Lewis?
I disagree with Edison, and I disagree with Stones. I can see why you've picked them, obviously.
Okay.
And Bernardo Silva, I feel like for me it's between him and De Bruyne, but that's fair enough.
So you tell me what to change. Then.
So my team, I wouldn't have Edison. I'd actually go for Ter Stegen. I think.
Okay.
I don't know, for the fact that he hit this level and then just stayed there for a while for the last few years. Yeah. This year, I think Barca conceded 20 goals in the league, and then you conceded about 12 until the last 6 games where they just stopped trying. Really. Yeah. I think he's been the key to them winning the league. So I'm going to go to Ter Stegen.
Yeah.
Then my back four, Trent, Diaz, and then I had Van Dijk in over Stones.
Of course you did, as a Liverpool fan.
As a Liverpool fan, but I just think he is back to his best this year, especially this season. If you can include the second half of the season, 100% tackle success rate, yet to be drilled past, the only player in world football to have that stat. And I think he's just been next level. And then left back, I went for Hernandez as well, but for me, it was very close between him and DeMarco. Just for DeMarco getting into the Champions League final, and he actually was very good in that run. And then also, he's been impressive this season so far. Midfield, I had Rodri, Bellingham, and De Bruyne. I just think De Bruyne was too important for that team to miss out, because I think you take him out of that team last season, they don't win the treble still, even though he was injured for parts and he's missed a lot of this season.
He went off early in the final as well.
Yeah, I agree though that Rodri was the best midfielder in the world, definitely last season. And then as the year, it's close between him and Bellingham. And in front three, mine was the exact same as you. I had Mbappe, I had Haaland, and I had Messi. And it is a funny one because you look at Messi's 2023, he was performing in a PSG side that weren't anything special, I think. He didn't have a great second half of the season. Then he's played a few months with Inter Miami in the MLS, not really done much because they've had a winter break. Their season ended a few months ago. But because he's won the Ballon d'Or, it's just so hard to overlook.
Yeah.
If I didn't have Messi, I would have gone either Kane or Salah. I can't pick between the two.
Okay.
I
mean, Liverpool
go...
finished 4th.
Yeah, I know, but I just think as an individual player, I think Salah has been better. But that's just my 12th man. But I will have Messi, I think.
Cool. Aaron, what are you saying? As a...
Here we go.
Dude, I do not even know. I do not even know who's currently playing today. I'll say Harry Kane. Get him in goal.
Get Harry Kane in goal.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll let me put Kane in goal. Let me try it.
Does it let you do that?
No, it knows. It knows.
Can you put him anywhere else in the field, though?
I can stick him up front. Yeah.
Okay, Harry Kane.
We need 2 more attackers. Mbappe, yeah.
Is Mbappe an attacker?
Yes, he is indeed.
A very good one indeed. Yeah.
Kylian Mbappe as the other one.
Well, you don't get to grace the front cover of what was it? FIFA. I forgot what FIFA was called then before it changed.
EA FC.
Yeah. And then I think you're gonna get Gabriel Jesus or Jesus. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Has he been nominated?
Was he nominated?
I don't think he was nominated. No, sorry.
Well, then this whole thing's a ruse. I'm not going to take part any further. Because if I can't have my man Gabriel up front, then what is the point?
That's
all
very
right. Put Salah up there. Then.
Salah. Okay, we're going to put Salah in. We're going to put Salah in to make Lewis happy. There we go. Salah is in there.
A nice front three.
Yeah.
Running down the wing, as they say.
There you go.
They just walk it in, don't they? Goalkeepers, you've got Alisson, Ederson, Samba, Kobel, Chesney, Maignan, Oblak, or Ter Stegen. Who are we going for, Aaron?
I'll say the last one you said.
Ter Stegen?
Good pick.
Good pick. Good pick.
I feel like, when you used to do like multiple choice SATs exams at school and you're like, okay, which one sounds the most plausible? Yeah. That would work for me. But
okay.
All right, so we got some defenders on the go.
Yeah, we've got Saliba, Arnold, Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Klaus, Frimpong, Ruben Dias, Stones, Grimaldo, Dante, Marquinhos, DeMarco, Kim Min-jae, Hummels. Who is that?
It's Quatra.
Yeah. I'd never heard of him. Yeah. Bastoni, Bremer, Hernandez, Di Lorenzo, Otamendi, Koundé, Jesus Navas, and Gaia.
I'll put Stones in.
Stones,
like
yeah.
Stones,
He's got Stones.
Mm.
He has got Stones. Have I got to pick 3 more out of those?
3 more, yeah.
Defenders. Yeah. Okay. Sure, I completely forgotten anybody else's name. That's really bad.
They are on the screen. Do you want me to zoom in a bit?
Yeah. Could you zoom in for me?
Let me see if it'll let me.
Things.
Yeah. There we go.
Look, here we go.
Can you see that? Yeah. Is that better to go to defenders?
Do you know what? I really should have just linked this on my screen, shouldn't I?
Probably, yeah, but it's okay. We're there now. We're halfway through.
We're there,
now.
Yeah. Is that begin with a K? Guy on the left there, missed him.
Kim Min-jae.
Yeah. We'll go for him.
Pop Kim Min-jae in there. Yep.
Yeah, Lewis is nodding, guys. Lewis is nodding.
He's happy with that. He's happy with
that. Guy beginning with a D on the left.
Dante. Dante. Yeah. Pop him in.
Yeah.
With the throw. One more.
Like an happy chap. Guy beginning with a K on the far right next to the
Koundé. Nice. Well, actually, I'm quite impressed because they all sort of fit the formation as well. So I'm
just feeling the vibes on this one, guys. Yeah. I'm feeling the vibes.
So midfielders, we've got only 3 more players to pick now. Aaron, you'll be glad to know. We've got Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, Cairo Mitoma, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, Bruno Guimaraes, Jarrod Bowen, Golovin, Florian Wirtz, Xhaka, Jamal Musiala, Leroy Sané, Julian Brandt, Grifo, Nicolo Barella, Federico Chiesa, Adrian Rabiot, Riyad Mahrez. There's a lot of midfielders. Sergio Milinkovic, Savic, Pedri, Gundogan, Alex Garcia, Bellingham, Toni Kroos, Modric, Tchouaméni, and Valverde.
Right. Well, because it's you, Nathan, I'll put Bellingham in.
Thank you. So he's been in every team.
Yeah.
He's not the only one though.
Well, apart from the attackers. But yeah.
Okay. I'll put Declan Rice in.
Declan Rice, of course.
Because they've got that camaraderie, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he does the Muller Rice adverts, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll put in Alex Garcia.
Alex Garcia for Girona,
Ooh,
currently.
very rogue. Very rogue
Yeah.
on that.
Well,
I just like-
yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Target for
And-
Barcelona apparently in this week's window. So yeah.
And this is something that everyone can vote for
Yes.
who their team of the year is. And when do
Absolutely.
the results of this get announced? Like,
Well, this is why we're a bit skeptical about it, because you can vote as many times as you want, but
oh right,
we've come to the conclusion, we think, that the vote is just a way for EA to get fans excited and build up hype for the promo, because we've already seen the entire team leaked. Even though the public vote's still going on, the team's been leaked. So,
The final team of the year selection will be determined by a combination of EA and community votes.
so that community votes could be 0.01%. You just
Yeah.
don't know.
This
It
is
could
like-
literally be that.
this is like Eurovision every year. You spend about an hour and a half getting the public vote coming in. You know, you throw it over to Kat Deely, and she takes about 10 hours to reply, and then it all gets messed up anyway once the board vote. put
Yeah,
theirs
of
in,
course.
so.
Yeah. But for new, so those are our men's team of the year picks. I won't make you go through the women's team of the year. I think we'll do this quite quickly. But for the
Yeah, you and
first
Lewis
time,
can. Go for it.
yeah, for the first time ever, because women's footballers are added to EAFC for the first time ever in an EA Sports game this year, which is amazing. There's going to be a women's team of the year as well, so we'll be looking at that. I'm going to go for Mary Earps as the goalkeeper. I think we're both
Yeah.
good on that as well, Lewis. Defenders. Do you want to pick two? I'll pick two.
Yeah, sure. Well,
Yeah.
I know your team is very Barcelona heavy, so
Yeah, so just as I'm not picking this based on who I think has had the best year, I'm picking this on who I want to get a card in the game, because I'm very selfish and I want to make my team better. So that is why I am picking
you go
personally Mappy Leon, because she is amazing for me in my team when I had her. And I'm also going to pick as well Rolfo as well as a left back, because she is also unbelievable. Your two picks, please.
So I had Rolfo as well. For my two picks, I'll go for Millie Bright.
Millie Bright, yep.
Yeah.
With Chelsea.
Yeah, World Cup final, lead title, Chelsea. And then I'm also going to go for Paredes, if you haven't put her in already. No? we haven't.
Ooh, okay. Let me try and find Paredes. Of course. I mean, she's a centre-back, but...
Usually in my normal team, if I was going to go for fullbacks, I was going to go for Carmona from Real Madrid. But who cares about positions?
Who cares?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
That's what I always say, guys. That's what I always say.
For the midfielders, I think we're both in agreement. Putellas, Bonmati are both in.
I didn't put Putellas in my team.
Oh, okay.
She played, I think, 18, 19 games all
doesn't matter,
2023.
Lewis.
But I know she suits your team to a T. So I know the reason why. She was the best player in the world when the game was released, because she won the Ballon d'Or last year.
She won the Ballon. Okay, who won the Ballon d'Or this year?
What's the name? Bonmati. Yeah.
Bonmati won it. Okay,
Yeah.
well, Bonmati's in there.
I had Bonmati. I had
Okay.
Oberdorf from Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
Youngster, very good.
Yeah.
We can leave Putellas in there because
let's
we
leave
need that. We need the votes for her, I think.
Yeah. And this is going to be controversial as well, because Caroline Hansen has been injured as well all season. She's in there because I have her Trailblazers item and she's unbelievable. So she's going in for me. I'm
agree.
also going to put in Sam Kerr because she's been amazing this year and she's just suffered an ACL injury, unfortunately. So she's going to be out for a good 6 months or so, which is a real shame.
Yeah.
I'll let you have the last pick, Lewis, because I'm
I went
feeling...
for Alexandra Pop.
Okay.
Wolfsburg. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fantastic again in the World Cup. But Germany's exit was great in the Champions League, Wolfsburg in the league. They were my 12th player, and I think was the player you also had in your team. I can't see her on that list now. I've forgotten her name. I can't pronounce it. No.
Gujero?
It's attacker. Barcelona attacker.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
That one. I forgot her pronunciation
How do you
exactly.
pronounce the name?
I can't even see the spelling.
Paralelo. Something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she was good for Spain, and I think she came like third or second in the world in the Ballon d'Or rankings as well.
She's very young, because I think she's only 19 or something, so she's got a long future ahead of her.
Well, I looked at her FC rating; it's like 78.
Yeah, but she's got an inform though, hasn't she? I think, or a
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm also hoping she gets the high-rated card.
It's the same with the women's team. The final team will be determined by a combination of EA community votes. It's likely EA will probably choose Proteas and Bon Marty, and also a couple of players that were injured, just because they're better items. So, yeah. Any concerns, Aaron? Any players you want to swap out?
That looks about right to me.
Okay,
that does.
cool.
I mean,
Nice.
I'm sad to hear that one of them's out with an ACL injury.
Yeah.
6 months, we reckon, minimum.
And the ACL injuries, it's basically a tendon in the knee that snaps, and it takes a long time to rehabilitate. It's a very common occurrence in the women's game. There's still research being done on why it happens to women so often in football. There's a lot of contributing factors, but there needs to be a lot more research done on it, because it's just affecting the women's game disproportionately compared to men. It's not fair on the women that play the game, because it is probably, apart from a broken leg, it's probably the most serious injury that you can have as a footballer, because you literally can't run or anything for weeks and months. So wish you all the best in your recovery, Samka. She's an amazing player. Hopefully she comes back stronger. But yeah, that's our team of the year. FC 24 team of the year will be announced. Well, it will close the vote on January 14th, and then we're going to see the team hopefully on Friday, next Friday that is, because we're getting the versus promo team 2 probably, according to leaks, this Friday. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll get all the coverage for you. We'll probably live stream team of the year as well. Me and Lewis, I'm saving loads of packs for team of the year, so hopefully we get a team of the year player this year. Miffy's also chipping in on his team of the year. We've got some interesting selections here. We've got Lionel Richie, Tom Brady, LeBron James, Serena Williams, Michael Phelps, Chunks, and the cast of James Corden's Cats. Thanks for that, Miffy.
Ship it.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Michael Phelps was a close one for me. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think the website was bugging or something, because you can't choose him on there.
Yeah,
so,
he's usually unfortunate.
Yeah. And moving on to our final topic. Sorry, you want to say?
No, it's fine.
Football?
I swear,
go ahead.
I could have seen Paul Chuckle of Chuckle Brothers fame on there as well, but
of course. How can we forget? How can we forget that? Moving on to our next topic, because I know, Aaron, your feature last week on Is It Worth Buying? Is 2024 going to be the year of the Xbox? Was really popular on our site last week, so really interested to hear your opinion on this. But PS5 versus Xbox Series X in 2024, which console is best to have? Obviously, Xbox in 2023, there was not a lot of exclusive games. It was quite bare. PlayStation killed it with their first-person exclusive games. 2024 is going to be tipped on its head, though, from what we've seen so far with the game schedule. Aaron, I'll let you take this one. In your opinion, if you were buying a console this year, and you hadn't owned any of the consoles previously, which one would you buy?
PS5. See you later, everyone. Bye.
Okay, that's all for this week.
No, it's funny. It's funny because, like, obviously,
so you're buying that for the back catalogue rather than
I think you'd have to, yeah, because like it's funny. Somebody actually, like, a friend of mine who's like into games somewhat, but he's been still rattling around on his PS4. He basically replays Mafia 3 every year because he's into cars so much and he likes the like classic cars and stuff. He's like, I love those games. I'll just drive around riding these cars. I finally got the message in the new year: Xbox or PlayStation, Aaron, which would you go for? And I did advise him to get a PS5 just because it's a known quantity right now. Obviously Spider-Man 2, Horizon Forbidden West, Returnal, some of God of War Ragnarok, some of these are on PC, some of these are cross released with PlayStation 4, but I think there's no denying that so far PlayStation 5 has a lot more to offer you, and that looks only set to continue early on in the year with stuff like Helldivers 2 that's going to come out in February. We've also got Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, which is coming out on Leap Day itself, February 29th, which is a third-party game, but is still exclusive to PlayStation, as a lot of the recent Final Fantasies have been. And then if you really want to like look between the lines, you've got The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered coming out next week. So if you've not jumped into that game yet before, you want to see the exclusive content, like PlayStation is still killing it early doors. Where things become a little less certain for PlayStation is the rest of the year, essentially, in that there's a following February. I seriously couldn't tell you what other first-party games are planned. There's nothing planned for this holiday. There's no big open world AAA game, and I think this is the longest we've gone without knowing what's coming, like beyond Spider-Man 2. Obviously, it was only a couple of weeks ago that there was that big Insomniac leak, which I won't go into the full details here, but we basically have a good idea of what games Insomniac are making for the next 10 years up until 2035, if they stick to that plan, of course. But on the inverse of that, Xbox, they did have the exclusives last year. They had 3, which I think technically might have even worked out the same or a little bit less or a little bit more than PlayStation. They had Hi-Fi Rush, they had Redfall and Starfield. The problem with those 3 is that 2 of them were Redfall and Starfield.
Yeah.
So, depending on the way you look at it. And then it's a really interesting conversation we're having now, because obviously we've got the Xbox Developer Direct, which was announced yesterday, happening next week, which I think we might be reacting to live on the podcast. So stay tuned for that. At least one of us will be here. And we're promised looks for Avowed, Indiana Jones, Hellblade 2: Senua's Sacrifice, which was the first Xbox Series X game we ever saw running before the console was out. And I just want to remind people that was almost that was coming up to 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
So what are they doing with that game? I know Ninja Theory is a small studio, but Xbox has this nasty habit of buying studios and then they don't get anything out, which is really annoying. So I think we're going to get some release dates, some hard release dates from Xbox. They'll have a big summer game. They'll have a big holiday game planned. And then it all depends on whether or not they can hit it. I think you're likely to get Avowed as one of those games, as well as Hellblade 2. Indiana Jones, I imagine, is a bit further off, but I'm still excited to see gameplay, particularly because we know it's first person. It's coming from Machine Games, the guy who gave us Wolfenstein. And then I'll shut up soon. I know I've been talking for long, but this is just where my head's at. Obviously, this week there's strong rumors suggesting that Hi-Fi Rush might come to PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, as well as Sea of Thieves, and that opens up an even wider conversation, because my stance has always been, obviously, exclusives sell consoles. If you don't have exclusives, then what's the point? And if they do go ahead and do this and put Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush on other consoles, I'm going to be happy as a PlayStation player. I'm going to be happy as a Switch player. I even own an Xbox. But if I'm an Xbox player and I don't want to go into tribalism and console war tribalism, anything like that, but you seriously have to ask, what is Xbox's end game plan if they just want to be Xbox Game Pass centric and just forever play the middleman? If their goal is to get Xbox Game Pass on PlayStation and Nintendo, then what value are they adding by putting a service on consoles where the game's already available? I know I've gone all over the place there. I've been rambling for a long time, but 2024 is the year that can make or break both these consoles. We're in the midway point of the console life cycle. They've been out 3.5 years. So generally most consoles last for about 7 to 8 years. There's a strong chance we'll get the Nintendo Switch 2 this year. And now is the time. Hence, that was the thesis of my feature. Now is the time, Xbox, to give people a reason. Imagine if you bought an Xbox Series X. I don't need to tell Nathan to imagine, because he did.
I'd bought one, yeah.
And what, other than Starfield, what have you really played on it,
Cyberpunk, FIFA, F1.
Bit of Halo?
Bit of Halo Infinite, yeah. Bit of Call of
Forza,
Duty
maybe.
back before I got a PC. Forza Motorsport.
Yeah.
That's
So it's
about
tricky.
it. Yeah, that's about it. Just looking at some of the PlayStation games that could be coming soon that are exclusive. A lot of them release date TBA at the moment. You got Death Stranding 2, which has a teaser trailer and nothing else. You've got Marvel's Wolverine again, probably not this year. Spider-Man 3, that's not going to be coming for a while.
No.
You've got Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, that's coming out in February. You've got Helldivers 2, another February game. So the start of February is looking pretty good. Start of the year is looking pretty good. You got Foam Stars, released at TBA as well. You got Pacific Drive in February as well, which is also PS5 exclusive. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing that. You got Stellar Blade sometime in 2024. Silent Hill 2 remake sometime this year, maybe. And then Fair Games, maybe this year. I don't know. It's just all so TBA, TBC, TBA. It's all up in the air at the moment, which, like I said, bit worrying for people who've got PS5 consoles.
I mean, there's going to be plenty to play on PS5 this year. thanks to third parties. Like that's how Xbox has managed to survive for this long.
Yeah.
You know, they've
Because
really
of people
been
like me and
banking on-
Lewis, who just buy them and
There you go. There you go. We
Yeah,
were having
yeah,
a
yeah.
conversation internally earlier where we want to play a game on PS5 co-op soon, and then Nathan doesn't have a PS5. What is he doing? What's
exactly.
going on?
Can't do it.
Not taking my advice. But yeah, it's interesting. You should say about like Silent Hill 2 again, Konami game, and there was that trailer where I think it was a PlayStation trailer highlighting 2024 games, and both Silent Hill 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 remake was in it.
Yes.
Despite them not being given like official like release windows, that could happen. But Marvel's Wolverine definitely not, because we saw what we saw. And
We saw it. Yeah.
It's not ready. Marvel's Spider-Man 3 definitely not. We had 2 last year. I think what you might see, and I've not read anything into this, going into the holiday is similar to Spider-Man Miles Morales. You might get a Venom spin-off, a smaller game on PS5, because the voice actor Tony Todd, who voices Venom, soon after the game came out, he was like, they cut like 90% of my lines. They cut. I'm like, dude, they didn't cut your lines, man. They're for a different game, all right, which is coming out soon. And anybody who's played Spider-Man 2 knows exactly what I'm talking about. So that's something
no spoilers.
No spoilers. And then the other missing link for the PS5 release calendar is Ghost of Tsushima 2. The original game came out in 2019. It received an upgrade, I believe, the year later, or 2021, for a PS5 Director's Cut edition. And Sucker Punch, if it doesn't release this year, they've got to show something.
Yeah.
And it's heavily rumored that we're getting a Nintendo Direct in February, even though Nintendo has loads of games coming out this year. Most of them are remakes, admittedly, but they're still, And then Xbox has got the Developer Direct. So if I was PlayStation, I'd this, you got to say something.
Yeah. I thought it'd be fun actually, because I know both me and Lewis have got Xboxes. Do you think you could sell the PlayStation to Lewis? Like, why should Lewis get?
Why should I get a PS5?
Well, but Lewis is a special case though, because I don't think I've ever heard Lewis talk about a game that isn't EA FC or FIFA. Like,
I like the Nerf shooting game on the Wii. Mario Kart on the Wii. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Have you heard about the Nintendo Switch, Lewis? Do you own a Nintendo Switch, actually? I don't know.
I don't know. My my sister does, so whenever I'm back home in Bristol, I do play it a lot. But it's mainly like, party games.
Yeah.
So.
If I were to try and sell Lewis a PS5, it'd be the same that I'd try and sell to anyone. If you want to be part of an ecosystem where the games actually come out, first party games that you can't play anywhere else, haptic feedback on the DualSense controller. I don't even actually that's true. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me. I'd look into it, and I don't know if this would interest any of you, but I imagine EA FC 24 has some form of haptic feedback on the PS5 DualSense controller, and I don't know if you get that when played through PC connecting it. But I know that big games like Call of Duty, like the reason why me and friends got really into Black Ops Cold War when the PS5 came out is because of the different tensions on the R2 button. Completely against you being competitive, because the last thing you need is an R2 trigger that like fights back when you're trying to shoot people in the head. But for the campaign, and like we left it on because it was just something different. And I'm really surprised that Xbox hasn't sort of aped that in some sort of controller revision there.
Yeah. Well, I've got the Elite controller, which you can just turn the triggers so they're instant.
I've got that. I've got the Halo edition, the green one.
Yes.
So they're like sort of, you adjust them on the back, don't you? So
yeah.
But
2024. So there's a lot of rumors about the PS5 Pro. Bit a strange year for the Pro to come out, considering what's going on, right? Why do you need a Pro now? Why would you buy one?
Yeah. Well, we obviously there was that document leak. I feel like I'm talking leaks all over the shop this episode for the Xbox Series S and X revision.
Yeah.
That were supposedly coming like later on this year. And that begs the question, like, if you're going to launch new hardware, surely you need a game to show it off, don't you?
Yeah.
But I feel like, and I don't think many people disagree with me, that this generation's barely out of the, to put it in terms that Nathan would understand, is barely out of the starting grid at the moment. Do you know what I mean? We're still waiting to go. So I don't know. But to go back to the original question of do you buy an Xbox or PlayStation 5 in 2024? I'm seriously worried about PlayStation this year, specifically because we've had those layoffs at Naughty Dog. They cancelled the Last of Us multiplayer project. More remasters of Last of Us games exist than Last of Us games themselves now, which is really depressing. Like, remember when amazing studios like Rocksteady and Naughty Dog and Sucker Punch, they all released games at a clip. Games have gotten so the whole problem comes down to is that games are just so expensive to make now. Like the amount of money it takes to get a game out on a PS5 is a lot more than it was, say, the PS3. And I feel like that's why most games these days are like 60 hours minimum, because rather than create a whole new game and people are done with it after like 15 to 20 hours, they're like, well, we're not going to start all over that again. So let's make this game 60 hours minimum so people spend more time with it and they're not left wanting for more stuff. If you want to go read my original feature about is it worth buying an Xbox in 2024, you can go ahead and do it. Obviously, it's been well documented on this podcast. I am an Xbox skeptic. I have a lot of problems with the way Xbox handle their business. I own an Xbox Series X, so you can't say that give me a reason to turn it on is what I'm saying, other than Game Pass. And PlayStation seem to do that more these days, but Switch beats both of them. So, especially
if you look at the Activision Blizzard deal, I think Call of Duty will probably come to Game Pass at some point this year. And then you start to look at like the overall sort of package of offering about what Xbox actually offers, and it's tilting, man. Those scales are tilting as the months go by. The scales are tilting.
I think there's like 5 or 6 exclusives that Xbox could release this year that would like really excite me. Do I think they're all going to hit? No. Do I think they're all going to be a 90 or above on Metacritic? No. Whereas PlayStation's power up until now has been, when a Naughty Dog game releases, it's going to be a 9 or a 10 out of 10, and Insomniac's getting to that level now. So, like, Xbox, I feel like if Xbox announced Gears of War game, that would get me excited.
Oh yeah.
But where is Gears of War? What is the coalition doing? So many questions that
they're working on it. Surely they're working on it. They've got to be doing something. They're not just sitting there, watching YouTube videos. The developers, they're doing something. They're developing something.
I think Gears 5 was 2019, but you think that because Gears 5 is like the second in the reboot trilogy, where Kate, I believe, is the main character as opposed to Marcus Phoenix. Like 2019, it came out. Then it received an upgrade for X in 2020. Finish off that trilogy and then focus on putting Gears into the next upper echelon.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Last question: do you think PlayStation have a surprise up their sleeve for this year? Do you think there's something that we haven't seen that could come out?
I think the two options are Ghost of Tsushima 2. It's revealed in the summer, out in the holidays, or Marvel's Venom comes out as like a smaller game, 10 to 15. I think that
there's still plenty of time in the year, isn't there? There's still plenty of time in the year for them to.
But there's every chance that Death Stranding 2 could come out too, which is the Hideo Kojima game that it's been 2 years since we saw anything from that game, so we know 6. Well, it's going to be an interesting one. What do we think is going to be game of the year? End of this year. Did we have that conversation?
I think we had that discussion in last week's show. So if you want to see what me, Aaron, and Scott think is going to be game of the year, go and watch last week's episode. But I think that's all we got time for this week. Thank you so much for joining us this week in this week's Mirror Game walkthrough. Thank you so much for Jasmine to Jasmine for joining us live from Las Vegas. She's at CES 2024 for Mirror Gaming. You can catch up with her first impressions of the MSI Claw live on our YouTube channel right now. It's live. You can go and check that out, and there'll be loads of other interesting stuff coming over the next few days and weeks. Previews, reviews, all sorts of stuff. So make sure you get subscribed for that. Aaron, thanks so much for joining us this week. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Lewis, thank you very much for your insight with FC24, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you on a live stream soon as we go into the Team of the Year promo. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been good to get on. Yeah.
Nice one. Well, I hope you all have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday on the Mirror Game walkthrough. But make sure you get subscribed for all the latest stuff. And that's all for now. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.